Welcome to the Weekly Braaappp, a place to go for information on local and national off-road racing. We have some exciting stuff planned for this year, including guest interviews, season previews for OMRA cross country and GP racing, the Team Taurus Mega Crown Series, and some insight on the GNCC, WORCS, Enduro Crossing, and National Enduro Racing Series. Stay tuned to either Reid or Don's Facebook for more information and what we'll be talking about each week.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Weekly Braaappp. I'm Reid.
I'm DM3.
So today we're going to get into a little bit more of what the Daily Braaappp is, or the Weekly Braaappp, excuse me, that's a lot of work doing daily shows. The Weekly Braaappp is all about, which is going to be local off-road racing. So last week we gave a little bit of a preview of the national stuff, and today we're going to go to more local. So specifically, what are we going to be talking about?
Well, we're going to be focusing on the OMRA GP Cross Country Series, any championships that came down to the last race, youth classes. We got, those youth guys, and fast kids on big bikes, as well as our best and worst races of the year.
Right on. So I guess we'll start off with the cross country series then. It's kind of been one of Oregon's longest running series. The GP series came along a little bit later, but so we'll start off with cross countries and
Open Am. The battle came down to Andy Plume and Alex Sherman to the last race of the year there in Medford.
Yep. Yeah, so they were basically trading wins all year and kind of back and forth, and basically came down to the wire, and Andy ended up squeaking it out.
He did, yeah. I talked to Alex a little bit via Facebook, but this is like his first solid year of racing, and I know a little bit about his background and Andy's, but Alex was a MMI student, and then I know Andy, he's been riding for a while in the Tillamook Forest and all that good stuff. Both great people and good riders.
So they're both going to be riding expert next year. They transferred out of the amateur classes, which is a pretty nice accomplishment, especially for someone who's first year racing is transferring straight out of Open Am. So I guess one thing with Alex is, his bikes are going to be running good if he's a motorcycle mechanic.
Motorcycle mechanic at Pro Caliber there in Bend. So
right on. So
speaking of another guy that's transferring out of a class, Mikael Jones winning the Open Expert class.
Yep.
Moving into the AA class.
Yeah. Next year, Mikael will be riding AA for his first year in the class. He was actually the only person to transfer out of the expert or amateur ranks into the AA class this year based on the OMRA's transfer point system for that, which is a little different from the transfer from AM to expert. It's based on your overall finishes throughout the year, and basically Mikael earned 6th place overall throughout the whole year. So he's ready to be there. It's just
top 10 guys, in AA, should be in AA.
Yeah, so there's be someone new to racing against next year, which is definitely exciting.
Yeah.
So for the 40 AM class, we had another good battle this year. Houston Landris and Kerry Cooper went at it. It was kind of a back and forth deal where one guy would have a couple races that were good, and then another guy would have a couple good ones. And it looked like Houston started out strong. Kerry came back in the middle of the race, and then
they always have a big class too.
Oh yeah, 40 AM is probably historically the biggest class in the whole series.
For the OMRA.
So I think that between those guys, there must have been a lot of guys that were going fast. So,
yeah,
for sure. And Houston, he is another transfer from the AM to the X, so he'll be filling up that 40 expert class next year if he chooses to.
That 40X class is going to be big.
Always big. That's another big one. And a lot of fast guys that probably could ride AA if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
And Joe McCormick, Bill Rush, and then the guys that like Steve Wauber, Pat Handley, Keith Caden.
Whiter.
Yeah, Dave White.
Dave White.
A couple of vet AA guys that could be in 40X next year.
Even Russ Manning, he's like 51, but he still rides a 40X class.
He's a sandbagger.
Yeah.
Russ Manning, I'm calling you out.
Yeah.
AA next year, Russ. I saw you on the Till You Drop ride in sandbagger.
Yeah.
Sandbagger. If you get off that fat Hooseberg and get on a real bike, then maybe you could speed it up a little bit too.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into a little bit of GP coverage this year. We just got done talking about the cross countries, which is fun and exciting and my favorite series because it's the best. So Don.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So tell us a little bit about the GP series. What is the GP series?
GP series is an hour and a half, sometimes an hour, depending on which track you're at. Or sometimes 2 hours, I guess. I just really messed that up.
Yeah, Nora does 2 hours.
Yeah, we do 2-hour events for GP. It's normally like on a smaller 10-mile course. Great battling, sometimes a little motocross track action, a little faster trails.
So it's a little more like WORCS, a little less like GNCCs.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit in between.
A little bit in between, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
All right. So, what happened in the GP series this year?
Well, we got a couple new champs. Austin.
Austin McLaughlin.
Yeah.
200 expert.
200 expert class.
Yep. And the junior series had some good battles in it. The junior expert series, which is kind of the feeding class for the amateur series, and these are kind of the future of our sport. So
Blake Bess and Eli Stepper.
Yeah, they had a good battle all year. So they went back and forth, and it looked like Eli might have won it if he would have gone to a few more races, but Blake edged him out, and both these guys are going to be fast. I had a chance to ride with Eli this summer at the Omaray or the Stepper riding school that a couple of the Omaray guys were at, and
Yeah.
I mean, they haul. They go fast.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, for me it's kind of neat because, like, we kind of went up through that phase and kept moving forward to,
Yep.
AA class or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's neat to see those guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's where it all started for me. If there wasn't junior racing when I was 6 to 12 years old, 15 years old, I guess, I wouldn't have had anywhere to race, and I'd probably be playing chess right now.
Yeah.
Which, nothing wrong with chess, but
Nothing at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I'm just not very good at it, so that wouldn't work out very well. Oh, we just lost the GoPro.
That's
Sorry. So anyways, they had a great battle, and in the next couple of years when they move up, I mean, it's only going to be a matter of time before we see them.
Like Chris Conway, for example, winning the AA championship. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, I mean, first year in the AA class, he won it, and him and Ty Peterson didn't really go back and forth, but I mean, Chris was able to edge him out at the end of the year, and
Yeah.
I think both those guys have some really great futures. And speaking of Tyler, I mean, other kids on big bikes going really fast. Him, first year AA rider, and he could have won the championship really easily. And
Won a cross-country race.
yeah, he won an overall cross-country race at Starvation Ridge, so he's already here.
Which is funny because, like, I talked to his dad the other day, and he's, like, out playing football, you know what I mean, in high school.
Yeah.
And he's still racing with us and winning races.
Yeah, he's a all-around kid. I mean, his team's like state football championship contenders, and before the 24-hour, he had a football game that night. Drove after the football game, showed up at like 3 in the morning, and then raced the 24-hour with us. So he's nonstop, tons of energy, kids. Yeah. He'll go forever.
Yeah.
So who else is doing really good things? Little kids on big bikes.
Kenny Worley.
Tell me about him.
Kenny Worley. Well, he has pros and cons to Kenny Worley. Fast kid, really fast kid, needs to smooth out a little bit. Got a couple broken bones this year. He got a broken hand right now. I got to see him at the Dick Jago, and out in the grass track, that kid was hauling on he had a KTM 150, and he was moving the mail. I mean, he was going into the AA class, but somehow he always has some kind of bike issues, or he breaks his foot or his hand. I don't know. It's a learning curve.
He'll sort it out.
Yeah.
I got a chance to ride with him this year also, and at the Omaray, or at the riding school, not Omaray riding school, but got a chance to ride with him there, and he was going really fast, but it seems like little things this year just kind of throw him off. I mean, he started out, broke his leg at the Shane Watts riding school, came back from that, hurt his hip play riding with Mikhail Jones. A couple weeks later, broke his foot at the riding school.
Exactly, yeah.
And then at the end of this year, he's going really fast and top 10 race down at Medford. And then he's racing at Eddyville and he breaks his arm.
Battling for third overall.
Yeah, so, I mean, once he gets to the point where he's just smoothed out a little bit, and, that's a tough age because he's going fast, but maybe doesn't know when to let off.
Yeah.
But he's going to be special when he figures it all out.
Yeah.
He's already got amazing speed. I watched him.
Good family, too. Great core family, supporting him, too.
Yeah, his mom, dad, sister at every race, and I think that's what it takes to really to be successful.
Support like crazy.
Exactly. I mean, I can think of a handful of guys that probably had what it takes skill-wise, but didn't have the family support, and next thing you know, they're just not coming to races anymore. So so I think that's going to really help them out down the road.
Yeah.
So between those guys and then the little guys we already talked about, Blake and Eli, and then a couple other little guys, Dawson Cockman and Max Hart. I mean, we got we got a lot of kids that are showing a lot of promise. In 5 or 6 years, that those 6 guys are going to be the AA class.
Yeah,
when we're all blowing away, blowing away like farts in the wind, like us. But they're going to be going fast. So
speaking of fast guys, I'll move into this because I'm sitting next to one of them, which. The OMRA XC champion, right here.
Thank you.
Had a couple good battles at the beginning of the year with Stefan Bolin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Back and forth. It seemed like you guys were doing really good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's basically been my counterpart for, like, ever since we started racing AA class. I mean, it's like, it's either he's winning or I'm winning. And last year, he won the AA championship. I ended up second. And this year it was looking like it was going to come down to the end between the two of us. We had a really good battle all year long. He won 3 races. I think I won 2 races or 3. We were basically tied at the midway point of the series. I think I had a 5-point lead on him.
And he was out training at Albany, I think.
Yeah.
Got his foot in a rut, spun it, ACL surgery.
Yeah, he wrecked his knee. I mean, there was ACL, MCL, and meniscus, and next thing you know, that was it. Yeah. So that was a bummer to hear. I mean, you don't want to win anything when your main competition is out. Yeah. But at the same time, right after that happened, Derek Steele kind of found his
in. Yeah, he stepped in a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't catch me off guard because I know how fast Derek can go. I mean, he's won like 3 AA championships in Oregon before. Yeah. And he's been to 6 days like 8 times or something ridiculous like that. So I knew he could go fast, but all of a sudden it's like, oh man, he won 1 race in a row. Then he won 2 in a row. And I was, oh great. So now I had to kind of refocus myself and prepare for a different type of battle, and I was able to get him at the last couple of races, which really helped. But I mean, it was a battle all the way to the end for the most part. So
on that note, what is your favorite race of this year?
Man, my favorite race of the year, it's a toss-up between Saturday at the Make It or Break It cross country down in Medford and China Hat. I mean, I've heard about China Hat since I was 3, and to be able to win it this year was like dream come true. And then Make It or Break It on Saturday. It was like 29 degrees, but it was the most epic conditions I've ever raced in down there. The traction was great, perfect, no dust, a little bit of a drizzle the night before, and it turned out really good. So that was awesome. But how about you? What was your favorite race this year?
Favorite race I think was round 4 of the Hare Hounds. It was in Utah, and drove over. It was a good drive, but once we got into Utah, it just snowed. And stayed in a hotel, woke up the next morning, there was like 4 inches of snow. Got out to the riding area, there was like 6 inches of snow, and it was just coming down. It was crazy. But it was so much fun. It was like, reminded me of one of those hangover scramble races where it was just, but it was like for 3 hours long. It was great.
Right on. So what about your least favorite race of the year?
Least favorite race of the year had to be against this guy right here. The 6-hour team race. We were leading it overall. Yep. Until one of my co-partners, Jake Gump, blew up his bike. But all else it was still fun, but. Yeah, it was one of my least favorite.
Painful.
It was. We had to walk away with our tail between our legs.
Yep, I can understand that. So,
how about you? Least favorite race of the year? Calling you out? What is it?
That was a difficult decision too. But I have to say that the opening round at Eddyville with 8 inches of mud around the entire track, it was terrible. I mean, I got a great start. I had the lead, got lost, kind of made a mistake. I don't know how you get lost at Eddyville, but I did. And
did you miss an arrow out there?
Yeah, apparently there was an arrow. Oh. Apparently there was an arrow. I didn't see it, but there was after I went through. So I had someone there pointing people the right direction. But I ended up second, which was good because I lost a couple minutes and almost caught Stefan. But I don't know. I didn't have a lot of fun, and then I loaded up that night and drove to San Diego, knowing I had a muddy bike at home. And I paid my brother-in-law. I paid my brother-in-law to wash it, but I don't know. It was bad not knowing, like, oh, I hope he doesn't pressure wash my chain or something, stuff like that. So, but other than that, everything else was really good this year. So
yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. So what's your plans for next year, Don? I got to hear it.
I think Joe Harriman, myself, and my girlfriend Courtney might go to a couple of Hare Hounds at the beginning of the year. Looking for the Hangover Scramble, and probably want to race the cross country series this year. So
right on,
the Old cross country. So
sweet.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Well, just 6 days, hopefully. Just kind of get ready for that and do some OMRA races like Gage was asking about. And
yeah.
Other than that, just try to have fun.
Nice.
So, on a side note, we need guests. So if you're interested in being on the Weekly Braaappp,
Tommy Wickham, we would like to have you here.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you are here, but
yeah,
we don't want to come on camera.
Yeah, we could have had Tommy on tonight. He's a real character. Everyone in the OMRA knows him. But
Racer X, it's there.
Yep.
Witness Racer X.
Check out the new Racer X. He's got his photo in there from the Till You Drop we talked about last week, and yeah. So if you want to be a guest, get at us on Facebook. Or follow us on Twitter at KTMKidBrown.
DM3.
And that'll about do it for this week's episode.
Thanks for watching.
Sweet.